Why this big emphasis on miracles? Why, I mean, it's okay, you're an evangelist, you need it. Why does the average believer need to walk in miracles?
Well, I mean, first of all, why wouldn't they? Why would a person want to just live a life on this lower level when there's this whole world of supernatural, miraculous life that you can live in? The whole Christian life is supernatural, or it is nothing. Because you can't even be saved without a supernatural miracle. I would say the greatest miracle of all. Jesus said, unless you are born again, you cannot enter into the kingdom of heaven. So Christianity was intended to be supernatural from beginning to end, and you can't live in this world without tapping into it.
Now, you said, I know you've seen the dead raised. Tell me about one case.
Yeah, well, interestingly, the case that I'm about to tell you about, I just had a repeat experience of that 3 days ago.
Well, which one was better?
Okay, so,
no, I'm
actually, I
mean, which is better? Which dead person was better than Rose?
Well, let me tell you the story. So I was in the city of Capella, which is another city in Nigeria.
Yeah, I want to have you do both. How about that?
Okay.
A little voice in my ear told me that.
I'll do both. So this mother had come to the meeting with her child who was very sick. And many people come to these meetings because they need a miracle, obviously. And so our services are very long. This is not like in America where you're in and out in 45 minutes. Some of these meetings last 6 hours. And so during the meeting, the child died. The boy, he collapsed during the meeting. She tried to get him to wake up. He was dead. So we have a medical tent on the field. She took him to the medical tent. Doctors examined him. They said, there's nothing we can do. He's dead. They said, why don't you take him to the evangelist, let him pray. And so she stood there at the steps of the platform for hours waiting for me. And by the time I got down there, he was dead as a doornail. I mean, his body was already beginning to smell bad. And when I got down there, I didn't know at the time what was wrong with her, but I saw this lady holding this limp body. I knew it was something terrible happening. And so I went over to pray for the boy, and she let go of him. I caught him in my arms.
I'm glad you caught him.
Yeah, well, I didn't know he was dead. I thought it was, just something wrong. I prayed for about 30 seconds, handed the baby back to the mother, got in the car, and drove away. And as we're driving away, I could see behind me just this eruption of joy, and I didn't know what was happening until the next night we arrived on the field. My campaign director came and got me. He said, Daniel, I have a surprise for you tonight. And he took me around the back of the platform, and there was that little boy running around, playing, totally healed, totally well, not sick anymore, raised from the dead. And so now, this is just a few days ago now, almost the exact same thing happened when I was at this last campaign in Nigeria just last week. And it was a mother, this time it was a little girl. I was paying more attention this time. Okay. Because it was so similar to that other experience that she put this dead baby in my arms, and I made sure there was no heartbeat, there was no breath, little eyes rolled back in her head, such a beautiful face. And I prayed, and I handed that baby back to the mother, and a few minutes later, she came back to life. And so this is what we're seeing. Jesus is alive. He still heals the sick, raises the dead, and does all kinds of miracles.